This channel supports St. Jude's Research Hospital for Children and is a part of their Play Live charity drive. For more information on how to join as well as how to donate, please head to the description and click the link at the top of it. Remember, any and all support is appreciated, so feel free to give and support in any way you can. Thank you for your participation.
What up, everybody? That's your boy Black Magus and PlayStation Experience 2016. They had their press conference today. Took a couple of hours before I did this because I was tired as hell. I worked today and I got off at noon, so I was like, all right, I get off at noon. Takes me about a half an hour to get home, maybe 40 minutes. I'll be fine. I'll get there before it starts. Work like fucking was crazy. We didn't get off until like 30, 40 minutes after. So I'm hustling home. I had turned it on my phone when I got about 10 minutes away from home. And I kind of sort of missed a little bit of it, the beginning at least, when they showed the trailer for Uncharted 4. So I went back and watched it again, but I got home and turned it on in time to see them reveal that it was Nadine and Chloe starring in Uncharted for The Lost Legacy, which is a standalone DLC. Now I'm wondering, is this the DLC that's a part of the season pass? If so, that's sweet. If it's the only season pass single player DLC, I won't buy the single pass, but if they're gonna do multiple ones, I will definitely get it because it'll be cheaper that way. Either way, I have to pick this up. Chloe is one of my favorite characters in the game. And I like Nadine. I actually really do like Nadine. And I think this will be very interesting. I love the fact that Sony is now doing these standalone DLCs. Like they did with First Light for Infamous. That was a really good one. I would like to see more companies do that where you don't need to have the main game in order to play these like short 4 to 6 hour adventures. Um, I liked it when Assassin's Creed did it with Freedom Cry. So I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Can't wait for that. So Sony started off with a bang. They continued by showing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is a new MVC game. There's been rumors that it was coming out, and the rumors were true. Once again, Kotaku breaks another like serious um, fucking story. They're the TMZ of fucking game journalism. Seriously, Kotaku. Um, but looks interesting. Now the interesting question is, what's the roster? Everybody's wondering who's going to be in it because we all know Marvel and Fox are going through this huge custody battle over the X-Men universe. And a lot of people, when you speak of Marvel versus Capcom, they're just all about Wolverine and Magneto and certain characters from the from the X-Men universe that can't be in there because Marvel doesn't own the licensing rights to put them in games. Fox does. Of course, Marvel gets a little cut, but Fox gets the majority. And we know how Marvel's been doing when it comes to the X-Men universe. They've pretty much have made X-Men obsolete, which is crazy. The X-Men has always been one of their most popular, if not the most popular um, properties in the Marvel universe. But since they can't use that or use the term mutants because of the Fox thing, they pretty much just said, fuck y'all, we're gonna make you fucking like not matter anymore. So we can like force you to give it back to us. Just like if you don't know, they're coming out with this show called The Inhumans, which basically the Inhumans are kind of um, a new mock-up of the X-Men for uh, Marvel in a way because now they tend to refer to people with special abilities as Inhumans because the term mutant is kind of like Fox's now, I think. It's a weird thing. I don't remember. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. Please correct me if I'm incorrect. But it's a weird like thing where Marvel has just done all of this to make sure that X-Men, even with the comic books, are in the back and everything else in front of the center. In fact, I was watching something and they were showing how Marvel is so committed to burying the X-Men right now that on this anniversary picture for Marvel, they showed none of the X-Men universe characters. They had Doctor Strange, Miss uh, Marvel, Captain Marvel, all types of characters. Some that you don't even fucking know, probably. No X-Men people. That's crazy, but I think this game will work fine without the X-Men because it's all about Capcom and how they work the characters and their abilities in the game. If they can make the characters appealing as fighting characters, as much as we harp and bitch and moan about not being able to do the Berserker Barrage or whatever, you'll be fine if it's a really sound, solid fighter game. You know what I mean? Fighting game. Sorry. Um, by the way, I'm only going to go over stuff that stood out to me during this whole thing. I will have an assistant. Um, I have a website up so that I would know exactly if there's anything I missed that may have stood out to me. But another thing that stood out, there's going to be a new Wipeout game. Wipeout's cool. It's funny because the majority of my experience with Wipeout came on the Vita, actually, because I played the hell out of the Vita version of Wipeout. Played on PS4, but on Vita, I was just like dogging that shit. So that's gonna be cool. Got some new Wipeout. They show new continent for content. That's it, continent. New content, guys. I'm tired. It's been a long day. New content for Destiny. For someone like me, that's cool. For most of y'all be like, meh. Um, there's a new Resident Evil 7 demo that is going to be dropping tonight. In fact, a lot of stuff is dropping. They announced a lot of different games and demos that are going to be dropping tonight. Like, further down the line, just to skip ahead a bit, they're doing a remaster of Parappa the Rapper, Patapon, and Loco Roco. And Parappa the Rapper is going to have a demo today. So check PlayStation Network later tonight. You're going to get a lot of content and a lot of demos, it seems, dropping all of a sudden. They announced Knack 2, which wasn't a surprise. I heard people talking about they're probably doing Knack 2. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Although I could see it because while it didn't get that big of a reception, the original, I could see them wanting to try to like make this a thing. Sequels usually are better, so we'll see. They showed some Gravity Rush 2, which looked good. I played Gravity Rush on the Vita. Very fun game. Glad it's going to be on the big stage because sadly people didn't really adhere to the Vita the way they probably should have because the Vita is actually a really solid handheld. But Gravity Rush didn't get the big pop as it could have because it was a really good game. So now it's on PlayStation 4. Hopefully people will draw to it more. I was surprised to see Dreadnought coming to PlayStation 4 as well. They brought back Windjammers. Windjammers is going to be on PlayStation 4. Now, I find that funny for two reasons. One, if you're a Giant Bomb fan, you know their love for that game and how they've obsessively been like making jokes about somebody needs to bring Windjammers back. Bring Windjammers back. Bring Windjammers back. Well, somebody's bringing Windjammers back, people. So Jeff Gerstmann and all of them, they should be extremely excited over seeing Windjammers come through. What else was there? Yakuza 6 got shown. It's funny, at that point, they were showing so much stuff that I couldn't keep up with the writing. That's why I have to use this website as aid because they showed Yakuza 6, Nino Kuni. For some reason, Lorecraft Go is going to be on PS4. It's out today if you're interested in that. They showed MOB, the show 17. Arcade mode is coming. They're going to have a throwback. It's basically a throwback mode where they're going to do old school, like 16 or early PlayStation 1 type graphics. Kind of like them going, tipping their hat to Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, in my opinion, because Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be on the cover, which I think is really, really cool. One of the greatest baseball players of all time, whose career, in my opinion, was cut way too short from injuries. That man was amazing. He probably would have ended up being the greatest baseball player of all time had he remained healthy, and probably had he not left Seattle. I think when he left Seattle, that kind of put a curse on him when he went to Cincinnati. But that guy was phenomenal. He was a fucking phenomenal baseball player. And of course, MLB The Show has always been a phenomenal series. I still say best sports series, bar none, in gaming. It treats the sport with all the respect due to it and mimics it the best out of any sports game that I've ever seen. If you've never played it, I highly recommend it, even if you're not a big fan of baseball. Like, I'm not a huge fan of baseball, but I love that series. It's really, really good. Got to see some of Pyre from Supergiant Games. I'm very interested in that. They've had two great games, um, Transistor and Bastion. Hoping they go 3 for 3 with that one. Um, you saw some other stuff like What Remains of Edith Finch. Uh, they announced like just a slew of stuff that would probably be dropping. I couldn't keep up because it was just like, this is going to be out. This is going to be out. This is going to be out. They just had so much content. And that's the thing about the PlayStation experience is that they generally have something for everyone, just about. At least they try to. Of course, they don't necessarily adhere to the, I guess, Western sensibilities, we should say. You didn't get like an over, you didn't get a real saturation of shooters, um, and action adventure. You got like an assortment of all types of games. And this is what I tell people year in, year out when it comes to the PlayStation experience. It's generally not for um, most gamers today. I would say it's for a specific crowd. It's for PlayStation players most like more than anything. Because in general terms, the majority of PlayStation fans, they gravitate to the console because Sony, since the beginning, has always given them a huge assortment of different types of games. Like I mentioned, Parappa, Patapon, Loco Roco. None of those games are like alike, but they all have their unique place in PlayStation fans' hearts. Um, you get stuff like you're gonna get the Nier demo, um, Horizon Zero Dawn, being this big open world action adventure, being placed in the same place with a game like Gravity Rush, which has some very unique um, gameplay designs. Very JRPG-ish game, Ni no Kuni too. Sports simulation with MOB, Japanese action adventure, Yakuza, Resident Evil, The Last Guardian, Marvel vs. Capcom. It's like they showed a huge array of games in so many different genres, and again, it's not going to necessarily appeal to everybody, in particular Western audience, because I think we as Westerners mostly gravitate to the shooters and the action games and what have you. So I could see a lot of people looking at this and being like, yo, this was boring. If you're in like, North America, Western Europe, things like that, even South Asian Pacific, I could see places like Australia, New Zealand are not necessarily getting excited about a lot of stuff. But PlayStation and Sony treats the platform on a more global level. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be super excited. And there's going to still be a lot of people, even in the Western culture, that are going to be excited about these things. But I thought they put on a good show, better show than last year. I think it was much more organized simply because they didn't have the Kojima drama that was kind of weighing everybody down. I think the whole Kojima thing kind of threw a loop for not only them but for the Game Awards, because even Jeff Keighley came out and made a big deal about that in the beginning of the Game Awards this year. I think like not being able to set up that surprise, they were able to do the surprise that they did, which was, don't worry people, I didn't forget and didn't ignore it. The Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 was the last thing that they showed. Of course, a lot of people are hyped Me personally, I'm like, yeah, cool. Last of Us 2 is gonna come out. Kinda wish Naughty Dog would attack a different property, but there's still opportunity for them to do that now that Uncharted's probably settled. But yeah, I was hoping to see a new IP, if anything, from them when they made a big announcement. But Last of Us 2 should be interesting. We get to see a much older, hardened, mature Ellie, older Joel. I was surprised that they brought them back. I thought they would try to go with new protagonists, maybe. Again, that would be something I would like to see because I think they could expand on that world a bit. But this should be interesting. This should be cool. We don't know the particulars of it yet, so hey, who knows? They showed Joel and Ellie, but they may not even be at the forefront. Maybe something else. We don't know right now because, like Sean Lade said, it's in very early development. Um, so we'll see. But hey, Naughty Dog's probably got another hit on their hands because they've been on fire. They've been on fire for the PlayStation platform since PlayStation 3, since PlayStation 2. No, jeez, since PlayStation 1. Naughty Dog's just been such a great fucking studio over the years. So yeah, they definitely have a lot going. But yep, cool show. Can't wait to hear more about what's going to be coming because we got E3 next year. I know a lot of people are probably going nuts because they didn't get a ton of first party stuff and all that. But Sony's, they seem to be doing okay. So hey, it is what it is. I thought it was another very good universal inclusive show that they put on. They showed lots of content, lots of games. They focused on the games and giving people different things to possibly pick up and enjoy in the coming year or so. But anyway, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.